Step 1, wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Yo, set your affirmations, aspirations. I got shit to do, the aftermath of preparation. Good food, good mood, blood in circulation. One step at a time, yeah, that's how you make it. Set a goal you control and the steps you take them. I try to pick one thought, have some concentration. And if I make a mistake, it's called education. I try to do this every day, call it replication. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 So life ain't easy, yo, I think there's a reason though. Ups and downs, just like every different season, yo. Sometimes I'm high, other times I'm barely breathing, though. I always gotta fight and hide from the demons, yo. Negative thoughts are poison, they rot. Head full of flaws, so here come the clouds. They'll never stop unless I can swap all the bad for the good in my head when I'm lost. Yeah, so I'ma fake it till I make it. Positive thoughts are overtaken, I got patience. One day at a time is how you operate a cadence. A flow, you grow, you show yourself a foundation. Stay away from all the shit that causes temptation. I know that I like to do it cause it's sensation. I live my life in my head like a narration. Don't expect greatness, do my best, man, I'll take it. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
Wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
I'ma say this right here, baby, because some of y'all be acting like y'all don't be seeing it. But, baby, playing victim in a situation that you created, oh, yeah, baby, that's narcissistic as hell to me. Hello, somebody. How you gonna create the storm, then get mad when it rain? How you hurt somebody and then get mad that they hurt? How you damage somebody, go outside your way to destroy a person and then get mad when they no longer want to deal with you? Baby, playing a victim in a situation that you created, oh, baby, that's narcissistic as hell to me. I'm sorry, but it is.
Do you know how many people say things like, they make me so angry? What do I hear? I have given my power and my emotional state over to someone else. They make me so angry? That would imply you don't have a choice in the matter. When you emotionally mature, you choose how to move your energy, which does not mean you're not without emotion, and it does not mean that you do not experience different kinds of emotion. What it means is you take responsibility and control for how that gets expressed and what you do with it.
Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club.
As you wake up in the morning, you want to find the latest, greatest information about criminal cases and have an intuitive conversation about the suspects associated with these cases. Head over to the Bullhorn Betty channel on YouTube. Get breaking news right here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club. Enjoy your stay and enjoy your day.
beautiful people, my coffee clubbers. It's nice to see you. Emma C. first to say good morning to Bullhorn, Betty, and chat. Good morning. Followed by Amanda. It's nice to see you. And Sonia. Allie is here awfully early. Good morning. Sheila. Bullhorn Betty is present. The real Me Too. Good morning. The Texas Scratcher. Do you scratch backs? I could use a back scratch. Jennifer, good morning. Patricia, good morning. It's nice to see you all here today. Mac J, oh my gosh, I made the start of one of your lives. I know, right? Right? It's amazing what happens when I actually start the show on time. It's amazing. No, I'm just joking. It's nice to see you all here today. Linda, Second Thesis 310, good morning and God bless you. Karen Davis, good morning, our beautiful mod across the pond. Who else do we have? Talking about gluten in the house. Inky's Unplugged. It's nice to see you, Inky. Good morning. What else do we have? I'm almost to the end here. Let's see if we got anybody else. Kathy, good morning. I think I said hi to Jennifer. Oh, Patricia G or Patty G. Good morning. Good morning, Love Bug. I hope everything is well with you. So, wow, we were here. I wasn't going to go live. You guys know that. I wasn't planning on live streaming the press conference, but due to everybody reaching out to me, wondering what the heck I'm doing, I decided to live stream the press conference. And quite frankly, went over what we thought it was. And it was the urgency of it. Like I didn't understand. Good morning, Whitney. JJ. Oh, and JJ, we are going to be going over that vault soundproof room thing as well. I got a little bit of information. I think you're right, because there was a vault there with guns. But there's a lot of people, a lot of mainstream media people that are saying that there's a padded room. I don't know. So I'm a little unclear if that vault doubled into a padded room with all those guns, or if this is a separate room. I am still very, very unclear when it comes to the Rex Heuermann case. But yeah, there was definitely a vault in the basement. But aside from that vault, I'm hearing that there was a padded room, some sort of padded room. Again, it's very unclear. I'm getting mixed information on the news cycle. So I've reached out to a few people that I know that are in the business to kind of clarify this for me. I have not heard back from them yet. So as soon as yes, he had an arsenal, some 200 guns. I think he only had permitted 91. So there's a lot of confusion related to that as well. You know, obviously he had a lot more of an arsenal than was expected. So I did want to let you know that, you know, I am trying to look into it to find out what, you know, so we're getting the most information. So right now we're hearing about a padded room with this heavy gauge door on it. We're also hearing that there is a vault. We definitely know for a fact, confirmed information, that the vault with the guns, it is without a doubt there is a vault with guns, and those that they housed about 200 additional guns from my understanding. Not like he had 91 guns assigned to him, but when they went there, I don't know if they found 200 more on top of the 91 that were registered with him, or if that 200 encompassed that 91 that were actually registered to him. But it was, from my understanding, a huge arsenal of weapons related to it. Now, I don't know how many people were actually on the show last night as we were watching the press conference with Carlee Russell. We're not going to go into the Q&A on this unless you guys want to. I'll let you, if you guys want me to go through the Q&A that was asked to the police chief, put a 1 in the chat. If you don't really care about the Q&A, put a 2 in the chat, and that'll decide whether we just do the press conference or we do the press conference and go to the Q&A. I will tell you, during the Q&A, we all knew that JLR was out in the field, and he is in Alabama. I knew he was going to be at this press conference, but and I know how he works because he always ends up, asking questions. And we all do, when we're out there in the field and they have a press conference, we always want to ask that's an opportunity for us that don't have answers to ask our question. Okay, so we'll go through the Q&A. Was it a total of 200 guns or 93 plus 107 for a total? That is what Texas Scratcher, that is the question I have. Because even when I read the article, it wasn't really clear because in that same article, they talk about the 91 guns registered, but then they talk about going to a secret vault and finding an arsenal of 200 guns, 200 and plus guns. I don't think it was right at 200. I think it was over 200 guns that they did actually confiscate, but it's still very unclear in their wording whether that was in addition to or the total number. So, and that does make a difference, right? Is it close to 300 guns or is it just slightly over 200? I mean, to me, that makes a big difference. Just a little curious, I know hunters, I know people with money always like to have an arsenal of guns. And it's not really because in many cases that they use them, because I've known hunters, I've known people that have major gun collections, like massive gun collections, but they only favor one or two guns for themselves personally. The other ones are almost for display purposes, like they're, in many cases, I have a friend that has a litany of antique guns. So these are guns that he would probably, he's used them just to make sure that they've worked, but it's not those, it's not the, something that he would go out to use. It literally is just a collection, like a stamp collection. It's stuff that he'll never use, but they look good in display cases, and he has stories about every one of them. So, I mean, I understand that there is a need that people not only use these guns, but also collect them. They do collect them, especially the antique ones. Some of these go back to, World War time era and highly collectible, but they're still a gun. They still fire, they still work, and they still must be registered. So I'm always curious about that, like how many are for personal use out of that litany of guns and how much are, for collection purposes. But either way, I'm going to go ahead and move into the press conference for all my beautiful people that didn't get an opportunity to preview it. I will go through it. It's so short. I think it's 15 minutes in total, even with all the questions. So I figured what we'll do is we'll just play it through. I will not interrupt it at all. I know I always say that and then I interrupt it, but because this is so short, I'm going to play it all through so you guys can hear it uninterrupted. And then we will go back to it and start breaking it down, because there's some things in this press conference with Carlee Russell that are like, wow. They're just wow. So as we wait for the rest of the crew to wake up, get the crust out of their eyes, get some coffee in their belly and come aboard, we're just going to play this. And I'll probably play it again before the end of the show. So if you miss it, don't worry about it. We will play it again. And I went ahead and fast forwarded because there was a real big pause as they were setting up. So I got right to the point where they start talking. Okay, let me see if I can get this.
With the Hoover Police Department. We're here today to provide an update in the Carlee Russell investigation. Chief Nick Durzis will read a prepared statement that will provide an update in this case. After reading the statement, we will have time for a few questions related to the case. Keep in mind, this is still an ongoing investigation, and there are some questions we simply cannot answer at this point. With that, I'll turn it over to Chief Durzis.
Thank you, Captain. Yes. Good afternoon. Thanks to everyone for attending again today. I want to thank the members of our department and all of law enforcement who played a role in the investigation of this case. Last Wednesday, July 19th, we held a press conference and provided you with the facts of the Carlee Russell disappearance. We told you the investigation was ongoing We hope to determine where Carlee was during the 49 hours of her disappearance. Today, I've talked to and received a statement from Mr. Emery Anthony, attorney for Carlee Russell. Mr. Anthony has scheduled a meeting for Carlee to meet with investigators early this afternoon, but then I received an email stating that a statement was being provided by him on her behalf. Mr. Anthony asked that I read the statement in its entirety, which I will do now. My client has given me permission to make the following statement on her behalf. There was no kidnapping on Thursday, July 13th, 2023. My client did not see a baby on the side of the road. My client did not leave the Hoover area when she was identified as a missing person. My client did not have any help in this incident, but this was a single act done by herself. My client was not with anyone or any hotel with anyone during the time she was missing. My client apologizes for her actions to this community, the volunteers who were searching for her, to the Hoover Police Department and other agencies as well, as to her friends and family. We ask for your prayers for Carlee as she addresses her issues and attempts to move forward, understanding that she made a mistake in this matter. Carlee, again, ask for your forgiveness and prayers. We have a meeting scheduled with Mr. Anthony to further discuss this case. We're currently in discussions with the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office in Bessemer about possible criminal charges related to this case, and we will announce those charges when and if they are filed.
All right, with that, we'll take a few questions. As Officer Hale said, when I call on you, please state your name and your affiliation. Yes, sir.
Keith Mims, WAGG 610 100.1 FM Summit Media. Chief, do we at this time, or does the Hoover Police Department know the whereabouts of Carlee Russell during that 49-hour period that she was supposedly missing?
Now, as I said the other day, was talking facts and everything. If I said anything today, would just be speculation. Actual facts, we do not.
Aaron Llewellyn, WBCM 13. Can you tell us what her motivation was for doing this, if you can?
I wish I could tell you. I think only Carlee knows, and maybe her attorney now. But again, the statement that we received from him does not indicate any.
For EGM WBRC, can you give us an idea of what charges you may be filing against her?
That would strictly be up to the district attorney's office.
David Lamb, CBS 42.
Scheduled with the attorney, and that will take place some point tomorrow.
And there is no meeting with Carlee Russell or her family at this point?
Not scheduled, no, sir.
Maria Chapman with Fox 6. What's next to close this investigation?
Well, again, we want to talk to Mr. Anthony tomorrow and see if he has any more to discuss about the case. We'll certainly be asking if we'll get an opportunity to again interview Carlee like we've wanted to since she returned.
Chief Stephen Quinn, ABC 3340.
Yes, sir.
Your reaction now, knowing that Carlee has admitted that this was made up?
Well, I'm glad that we got this. You know, we certainly laid the facts out to you guys and to the national media that had a lot of interest in this particular case. The sad thing is that again, there were so many people that were involved, took this thing very, very seriously, and again, we wanted the focus to be bringing her home. She got home. We're very excited about that. It is what it is. The facts, I think, last Wednesday pretty much showed that we knew that it was a hoax.
Please.
Lisa Crane with WBTM 13. Do you know the expense you went to during this search? And if you don't have a dollar figure for us, just how big it was for you guys?
Well, it was all hands on deck, and we don't have a dollar figure yet, but we're certainly working towards getting one, and not only ours, but there'll be other agencies that had a lot of support that they gave us and had monetary expenses themselves.
Jonathan, when JLR investigates, are the parents under any investigation?
You know, as I said the other day, we were going to try to determine exactly those 49 hours. So right now, you know, anything's on the table. We still don't know what happened in those 49 hours, where she was. Did she have any help? We have no idea. You know, I read the statement from Mr. Anthony. That's all we know.
Keith Mims, WAGG 610 Summit Media. Chief, let me ask you this. What do you think prompted or provoked Carlee to do this kind of thing? And
This
are
is
there
not our
any kind of mental issues that the police department or the public should be concerned about, or just what?
Not that I'm aware of. I mean, it's, this is this was elaborate deal. I mean, when you talk about calling a 911 and being up on the interstate, again, it would all be conjecture. So really, I don't know. I was hoping that we'd have an opportunity to interview and we'd be able to ask her those questions.
Were any others involved in putting this story together for her?
Mr. Anthony, in his statement, says there was not.
Right here.
Liviana Kelmy, WPRC, Fox 6 News. You said that you had a meeting scheduled and it kind of switched into a statement. Did they give any type of reason that switched?
No, they did not.
Back here.
Aaron Llewellyn, WB Team 13. Was not in custody right now.
That is correct. That is correct.
Last question with David.
David Lamb, once again. So first of all, when did you actually see this letter? And second of all, do these admissions and the content of the letter alter the investigation at all?
No, not at all. We'll continue to investigate. We're still trying to determine where she was during those 49 hours. But I am glad that we received this. It at least puts some of the social media super sleuths hopefully at rest for a little bit as far as the conjecture of what everybody thinks took place. We know that by her own admission, it didn't happen. And, we're thankful for that.
All right. Thank you guys very much.
I don't know if I should be like gloating over here that he calls us super sleuths or what. I don't know. I'm thinking, I'm just a little bit, I'm kind of thinking that this police chief actually likes people like us. I don't know, right? There are some super sleuths that probably need to be in padded rooms. Okay, Bullhorn Betty's not one of them. I know people will probably disagree, but that's okay. That's okay, right? That's okay. So we're going to rewind this because I think that there's a lot of information that I want to stop and express to you because we all heard that statement and you guys may have gotten something more out of it than I got out of it. So I read these things much differently because I understand, I understand the process. And this police chief is a very seasoned law enforcement agent, right? He runs this Hoover Police Department. He's obviously the police chief. He's been in law enforcement. You don't become a police chief for just getting into law enforcement in your 60s or 70s, right? You're talking about years of service in this particular field, so much so that you are, deemed among your peers a top person, i.e., therefore, you are elected into a position of, say, police chief or appointed into that position by the mayor, and depending on what your state's guidelines are on voting and stuff like this. But it's my understanding that police chiefs are typically appointed. However, this police chief, again, going over his background, is very seasoned. Okay, he deals with a lot of people he needs to extract information from. So, and he also is very cognizant that, as a law enforcement agent and is potentially going to court, he cannot put words in people's mouths. So every time he talks to you or, talks about facts, he only talks about the facts that they've said, not the facts that they know, because then that will show their hand. And so this is very important because what they're going to expect from Carlee Russell, especially when they meet with her, is to gauge whether she's being truthful or whether this is a way to mitigate her exposure to liability and her continuing on the path of lying to mitigate that. When you make a mistake like this, any other white lies, anything, those go out the window. You stop lying. You just tell them the truth, be completely upfront, be completely honest. Hey, he notices. Oh, come on, Mike. That is funny. But there are some people out there, like most of the people here on YouTube only think of YouTube as social media. There's a lot of social media out there, even social media that we don't even use, that we don't even really know about, but younger kids do. So there's a lot of just stuff out there. I've watched a lot of social media. Even though I don't really watch a lot of stuff here on YouTube, I'm always in Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, obviously YouTube. But I don't watch a whole lot of videos on here. There's just a few creators that I have high respect for, that I know is good information. And those are the people, and only the people, that I listen to. I don't really listen to anybody else. I don't listen to all this garbage, all this drama on YouTube, despite what people think. I don't even watch it. I don't listen to it. And so I do know that there are people out there that truly do spread misinformation. And I would say that it's unintentional, but it's intentional because they know their brains are effed up, and just because they think it, they believe it's true. And that is the most dangerous thing possible. I truly pride myself of getting it right. We get a lot right on this channel. And I know the people that come here every day know that, because they're here every day listening to this. And so they're going from the beginning of these cases with me to the ending of these cases. And because of that, they remember what I said. They remembered that, we discussed everything up here at this point and expressed this, that and sometimes we say one of two things can happen. And guess what? At the end of the day, one of those two things that we identified early on in the case typically ends up being the result. And I came under heavy fire with Carlee Russell because I'm a very strong person. And when I see something that I don't like, or I start realizing that we are duped, I come out with everything I have and let people know, because I've located it. I know I trust my work. I don't trust a whole lot of other people's work, but I trust my work. And they may not trust mine, right? It may just be the opposite, where they trust their work but doesn't trust mine. And that's fine. But I'm not going to sit here and tell you guys, oh, well, you know what? We need to wait for law enforcement. This could have happened. We need to wait for law enforcement to tell us that it didn't happen. I'm not that kind of creator. I will never be that kind of creator to my audience. I'm sorry. I just won't. And I will come out and let you guys know what I truly find out and what that means. In Carlee Russell's case, the issue is there was so many answers in her social media that was public. So they didn't shut the social medias down when she was on the run. So we had access to that. We had access to Instagram, access to her Twitter account, and nobody did their necessary work of going in there. And they're like, well, it's not factual information. Law enforcement. No, it is factual information, because you can see exactly it's a date and time stamp. How much more factual information can you get? Do you not think law enforcement's looking at that? Do you? Because they are. And so I went to the social media. Me and a couple of other creators went to the social media accounts of her and started doing our work to find out, who is this girl? And is she capable of this hoax? Because how does she disappear with a baby? The baby has always confused me with this thing. We took her story as true. And and because of that, we fought at the beginning as if it was true. But in the process of her not being found, I had a lot of time on my hands to do a lot of digging. And I'm telling you, things in her social media were the ones that started making me just say, wait a minute, whoa. This kid ain't making sense. The story ain't making sense. Now I'm finding all this social media stuff that's showing immaturity, that's showing she's got emotional issues, that's showing that she's, has this tendency of being, if she doesn't get her way, her pouting because she's a spoiled rich kid. These are the types of things that I was starting to see in her behaviors in these social media posts. And so I went on and I did this TikTok that says, people are concerned about the timestamp on here, because it said 10/19, and it was after the fact of her being, and it was a post from her, but it was because she's 1 hour ahead of or behind us. So on my Twitter, if she would have posted, say right now, it's 6:47 my time, she would have posted at 5:47 her time. But even though I'm looking at that on my phone in Eastern Standard Time, so even though she posted it her time, the exact same time right now, her side will show 5:47 and my side will show 6:47. So when I take a screenshot, it'll show the time zone that I'm in, not the time zone that she posted in. So that was, so everybody was making this hoopla about this timestamp. And I'm like, is anybody concerned that she's talking about wanting to have a family with a crying emoji literally a few minutes before she sees a child on the side of the road? You guys don't find that suspect at all? This might really be a new clue, right? I even put that on there, new clue. And literally, I think it was 2 to 3 hours after that post went on TikTok, she showed up back home. So the next day, Olivia and I were supposed to leave at like 6:30 in the morning to start heading to Alabama. And we figured, you know, she's home. And so we canceled our trip and $800, $100 and something dollars. Her and I split that. Olivia and I did. And we chose not to go. We kind of kick ourselves in the butt and wish we would have went, because we weren't, you know, usually when these cases and the person's found, they die down very quickly. But then we started hearing she showed up by foot, and we're like, and that she was abducted. And we're like, wait a minute. How does this make sense? Like, the baby doesn't make sense. I'm seeing all this stuff on this stuff. I'm coming out saying, you know, this could be a hoax, folks, you know, without saying it, just saying, you know, there's some suspect things in her social media accounts. And, you know, I'm finding this really odd and really uncomfortable. Then the next day she comes home and I'm like, oh, she's home. And then I find out she walked up to her front door, and that was it. I'm like, we've been duped. We've been duped. We've been duped. I started coming out immediately with everything on TikTok, hoax, 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 hoax. I came under major fire for that because law enforcement hadn't told me how to think or what to think, or, you know, we have to allow them to do. No, I'm not that person. I investigate these things. I do fact finding for this information. And when we know, we know. And so everybody's like, well, you can't know for sure. Yeah, I can. Maybe you don't know for sure. Let's say that correctly. Maybe you don't know for sure that it's a hoax. I know for sure it's a hoax. I know for a fact it's a hoax. And I was so strong on that. I was called a racist. I was called, I don't know. It was completely, listen, you're telling me you don't want me to treat anybody differently, but to not talk, to treat her differently because of the color of her skin? No. That is literally the definition of racism. Like, I'm not supposed to I'm supposed to treat her differently because the color of her skin. No, I will not. She will be treated as everybody else is treated. I will cover her case as I cover everyone else. No, you do not get special privileges. No, you do not. Just because I'm of a different skin color doesn't mean I have an opinion. And I'm so sick and tired of this racist crap because you disagree with my viewpoints. And I stood up to that. And I actually blocked people that were being racist. And they weren't, and they, believe it or not, it wasn't toward Black people that they were being racist to. I denounce all types of racism, period. Period. I actually prefer them taking race off every single application, especially when it comes to our government. You know why? Because at the end of the day, who cares? I certainly do not care. But I damn sure am not going to treat anybody differently because I'm white and they're Black. Again, that is the definition of racism. So you guys might want to check your definitions. And trust me, it has nothing to do with political slang signs or anything like that. It's how you treat a person. So I've been blocking people, and I tell them why I block them. And I tell them I do not tolerate racism in any form. And that's what we all need to be doing. It's called unity. And there is a beautiful group of people on TikTok bringing awareness to this very thing, right? When people of color don't like, and this is not all of them. I mean, I have so many Black friends that are coming out and denouncing this kind of behavior from certain communities. Because in one sentence, you're saying you want people to help, you want this, and then when you don't get the help or people speak out, like especially with Carlee Russell, when people speak out, the first thing you do is call. I had every right to say that this was a hoax. I had every right. The information, the facts of this case led right down that. Now, the police chief may want to act stupid, but he has to act stupid. Like we don't know this, we don't know that. Believe me, that man knows. But he has not heard it from Carlee. And a good detective, a good interrogator wants that information from their client, and they never want them to know what they know. So this police chief is playing his part superbly. And that attorney, Carlee's attorney, knows this because she was supposed to meet with them. He knew if she met with that chief or his team, she would be arrested. He knew that. That's why he chose not to take her down to the police station and chose to write that letter. He's trying to keep her from being arrested. Now he's going to go down without his client to meet with the detectives and this police chief to discuss this case. And I guarantee this discussion is going to be more in line with mitigating the charges she's going to do. He's going to be negotiating on her behalf, saying, I know that you need these charges. Is there any way we can do this, this, and this? And they're plea dealing. This, trust me, this meeting, what does that attorney know? What does he have that's going to benefit this police? He's got nothing. The only person that's going to benefit this police department in this investigation is Carlee Russell. So with this police chief saying that he's meeting with her attorney, we all know what that means. They're negotiating a plea. They know that there's criminal charges coming. They know there's a massive amount of restitution that's going to be needed. They hired this attorney to mitigate those damages. And that's exactly what he's going to do. So in my opinion, in my professional opinion on this situation, I will tell you that I believe that this police chief, one, knows exactly what happened. They know exactly where she was. I don't believe that she acted alone. I think there's no way that, in my opinion, she could have pulled this off alone. But, you know, I could be wrong. And here's why I say that, because she's saying in this statement, and we're going to go back through it again. She's saying in this statement that she wasn't in a hotel and she didn't leave Hoover, but there was nobody else involved. So was she camping outside? And there is the possibility. I mean, we found the trail, we found this clearing, we found a place with chairs and tables, and we found another location that actually has what appears to be clean mattresses, right? I mean, they're not grubby, disgusting looking mattresses, and they're white, and they still appear to be white. So we have this area that's over near where she disappeared, in between where she disappeared and her home, that would give her a place to kind of hang out, sleep where she's not sleeping on the ground, sitting up and having a place to sit and watch the sun come up and chill. And it's possible that she had a burner phone. We don't know. Wait, I thought Carlee was on vacation. No, she's not on vacation. She did go to Atlanta, Georgia on Saturday to celebrate her birthday, or was it? Yeah, Saturday to celebrate her birthday. May have been Friday night into Saturday. And then she had a birthday party at her house on Sunday. So brand new mattresses in the woods. That is kind of what it looked like, right? It is kind of what it looked like. And it was like 2 box springs that were twin box springs. And then it looked like there was another box spring there that was a full queen box spring or king box spring. And then it looked like a king mattress. So it was, but there's obviously, that's something that people set up. So kids are back there. You know, there was an interview with a neighbor that basically said, you know, only the people that live around there really know those trails behind, you know, off that interstate. So she probably knew somebody there. You know, she grew up in that area. She's not too far from the area. I know for me, I've hung out with my friends and we went down in backwoods and found little cool places that we ended up going and hanging out over and over again as we were growing up, you know, preteen age all the way up to teenage, where we ran with our friends and liked our secret spots and stuff like that. We did that as kids. Now, I know that life's changed a lot since I was a kid. We've got a lot of electronics. Back when I was a kid, we had like Atari and a corded telephone. That was it. We enjoyed, camping in our front yard just to get out of the house. You know what I'm saying? Like we didn't have all this stuff. We had TVs and telephones. That was it. We didn't have all this carry it with you, be sucked into this virtual reality world and never get sucked out of it. Problem when I was growing up, we had problems. Our problems was making sure we got home for dinner. I mean, that was our problem. So I don't know. Does her family own a hotel? Allie, I don't think so. I don't know what the husband does, but I know that her mom is a major real estate agent that has been, that has done very, very well for herself. So you're talking about, well-educated people here. I mean, and it shows. I mean, look at this girl has a life that many of us dream of having, and she's taking it for granted and destroying herself. And I just don't get it. Betty, I had a TV with 13 channels. Me too. I remember that. And I remember having to go up and hit the side of the box that had the thing on it. You have the tuner, they have two little knobs on it. You had to tune it. And sometimes it just wouldn't tune. And you just had to get the good old smack on the side of the TV. And then all of a sudden the picture started coming in clear. I remember those days. God, what I keep thinking, what would these millennials do if they had to live the life of us, right? They wouldn't know what to do. I remember I was watching Ellen DeGeneres, right? I love Ellen DeGeneres. She's funny at times. Some stuff I really don't care about. But I remember years ago I was watching this, and they had this young girl on there, okay? And they had a rotary phone. Oh, good Lord. I remember the rotary phone, and I remember the map. And I think it might have even been a cookbook, possibly, or something. I can't remember. There were several different things on this table, and she was asking this young person to figure it out. How do you make a call on this rotary telephone? This girl had never seen a rotary telephone before. She doesn't know how to use it. When I was growing up, we went and visited at my grandfather's house, which is in backcountry woods in Mayaca City. This was back when Mayaca City wasn't this, up and coming, hoity-toity, richy neighborhood. This is, the true folks, the country folks of this county live out in Mayaca City. So they have guns, there was a long time that they never even had power out there. They had to run everything on wells. So it was quite an interesting. So, my grandfather having a rotary phone in his home was like a big deal. But also it was a rotary phone. So when I was 5 years old, believe it or not, almost 40 years ago, right? Hard to believe it's been 38 years ago, but it's hard to believe that I'm old enough to say that. Oh my gosh, that makes me sick to my stomach. I have to be honest with you. But almost 40 years ago, I was using that very phone to call my mommy and daddy because I was scared of sleeping there at night, even though I begged them for hours to leave me there. And I remember my dad and my mom said, we're not going to leave you here because every time we leave you here, when we get home, you always call us and you're scared and you want us to come back and pick you up. And of course, this was no different. So we have to use the rotary telephone. So I knew how to use a rotary telephone. Now, I also traveled the country with my family, and this was back in the 90s. There were no phones. There were no GPSs. You had to have a map and you had to learn to read it. So it's funny because I feel like after my generation, they got lost. Now, what happens if, God forbid, this is a world that has crazy people and crazy dictators all over it. What happens now if some kind of foreign government, or even ours, or let's just say it just breaks? What happens if our satellites up there rotating around the earth break or to get destroyed? What are people going to do? Like, I am so reliant on my GPS, and like I used to, my brain was so much better when I was younger because I remembered hundreds of phone numbers. All of my friends in school, you had to memorize their phone numbers. You know, for us as young kids, we didn't walk around with phone books like our parents did. You know, that little black book that had everybody's name and address in that you could just look up and use the phone. You know, we actually had to memorize this stuff. Like, and everybody's like wondering, how can I remember? I remember my old phone number. My old phone number when I was growing up, and it was 941-792-0031. God rest the soul of whoever owns that number now. I don't even know if it's ever even in use anymore because they've changed all the phone numbers and the area codes in our area. But I remember that because we were forced to. Now you ask me to call my mother, let me leave my phone at home and need to call my own mother. If I had to call my own mother by memory right now, Mama, I love you. Come search for me because I can't call you. I don't remember your number. That's scary. I can remember my childhood phone number and I can't remember my mom's current phone number. Make that make sense. Make that make sense. Okay, so going back to this, and then we'll go ahead and get over to Rex Heuermann. I want to go back and I want to point out a few things. Hold on.
And second of all, do these admissions and the content of the letter alter the investigation at all?
No.
No, not at all. We'll continue to investigate. We're still trying to determine where those were.
With that, I'll turn it over to Chief Dursis.
Okay, so I got it back to where I want it to be. We're going to go through this, and now I'm going to explain to you what I heard. Okay, what I heard with all this, and maybe the same with what you guys heard, but there's some nuances, and I want you guys to pay close attention to those because these are the things, these are the cues that I'm looking for to decide what path law enforcement is taking. Because remember, we know law enforcement behavior, so I have an experience, I have a standard of what law enforcement's policies and procedures are, what their standard operating procedures are. And so when they start talking or they start getting away from that, those are cues and clues for me as somebody that covers this and has to explain it. So I'm going to go through here and give you guys my information, what I believe is going on here and what they're truly saying. So just bear with me.
Thank you, Captain. Yes. Good afternoon. Thanks to everyone for attending again today. I want to thank the members of our department and all of law enforcement who played a role in the investigation of this case. Last Wednesday, July 19th, we held a press conference and provided you with the facts of the Carlee Russell disappearance. We told you the investigation was ongoing. We helped to determine where Carlee was within the 49 hours of her disappearance. Today, I've talked to and received a statement from Mr. Emery Anthony, attorney for Carlee Russell. Mr. Anthony has scheduled a meeting for Carlee to meet with investigators.
That is the first clue. That is the first cue right there, is that they were scheduled to meet with Carlee and they were provided a statement instead. So what happened, in my opinion, here is her attorney counseled her. So they knew they were going to have this meeting with law enforcement. He probably sat down with her and had to come to Jesus and say, look, this is not going to fly. There's no evidence of this. If you keep going down this road, you're going to be even in more trouble than just coming clean. It's time for you to come clean. Did this happen? Sometimes attorneys are rough around the edges with you. They are very blunt and blatant because they have a job to do and they don't have the time. Their time is valuable and they don't have the time to be MFing monkey, right, with your BS. So they're sometimes they're blunt. Did you do this? Did you? They do things to provoke reactions in their own clients for them to understand. I know. I knew this guy. His name was Mark Lipinski. God rest his soul. Here in our town, one of the strongest and best. If you had a defense attorney, that is the defense attorney that you wanted in a criminal case. He was just amazing. He lived in his office. And I tell you, he was one of those people that were just, you sat down, he talked to you like you were being cross-examined by the worst of the worst. Like he did that because he did that with purpose, because he wanted to, let you know what you were up against. And if you can't handle his questioning, good Lord, you ain't going to stand the other side's questioning, right? So there was a lot of stuff that he did to provoke different types of responses to identify for himself whether what was the best strategy, trial strategy, a legal strategy for this particular case. He was very clever. He was amazing at that. So I truly believe that this attorney probably just said, hey, look, this is not going to cut it. If you're wanting to get out of this, your best bet's to come clean. If I go to them with this crap, you're going to jail. Is that where you want to go? You're going to jail. Did this happen? And she probably said no. And he said, well, then I don't want you meeting with them because they're going to arrest you. If you go in there and tell them that you lied about this there in their office, they will arrest you. So what he did instead is said, we're not going to let you meet with law enforcement right now. Let me prepare a statement and give them your statement. Is this in? And he would have prepared the statement and sent it over to her and her family for approval. So it's not like the statement just, that the attorney did this on his own volition. He recommended this. They agreed to it. He drafted it. He sent it over to them for review. They agreed to it. He submitted it to this police chief. So now we have this entire statement in lieu of Carlee coming to the police station. So that tells me that's another clue for me and another flag, because it's showing that they don't want Carlee at the police department. There's a reason for that. They believe she's going to be arrested. So now her attorney has given him this statement. Let's listen to what the statement says.
Early this afternoon, but then I received an email stating that a statement was being provided by him on her behalf. Mr. Anthony asked that I read the statement in its entirety, which I will do now. My client has given me permission to make the following statement on her behalf. There was no kidnapping on Thursday, July 13th.
That is crime one. She called in an alert that there was a child on the side of the road. It doesn't matter whether or not she did an affidavit or not. She called for the assistance of law enforcement for a lie. JJ, we will get to the suitcase person. I did do a TikTok on it, but other than that, I didn't. I do have the information and I will pull that up. We got that, and we have something even more disturbing, and we'll go over, well, I guess not more disturbing, just as disturbing, and we'll go over that as well. They didn't arrest Rudy or his mother. Yes, we'll be talking about that. Let me go ahead and star that, and I'll try to get back to those in just a second. So in this statement, she's saying that there's no baby. So at the end of this, we heard a question as to is there going to, what would she be charged with? Well, here's the first charge right here. Reporting a false, reporting of a false statement or a false crime or something. I don't know what their, the specificity of wording for that charge would be in their state, but it's on those lines.
2023. My client did not see a baby on the side of the road. My client did not leave the Hoover area when she was identified as a missing person.
She didn't leave the Hoover area. So according to her attorney's statement, now remember, this is just a statement from her side. This is not a statement of fact. This is a statement of her fact, okay? And she's saying she didn't leave the Hoover area. Why is this important? Because there was a lot of rumors that she went to Atlanta, Georgia. So according to her attorney, she never left the Hoover area.
My client did not have any help in this incident.
I'm not sure about that because, nobody can state with specificity where she was. Now, where's her shoes? Where's her Cheez-Its? Where's her trash? Where did she sleep? They're saying nobody helped her, but how could they not? It is possible, but that's what they're saying.
But this was a single act done by herself. My client was not with anyone or any hotel with anyone during the time she was missing. My client apologizes for her actions to this.
And she wasn't in a hotel. So he's saying that let's go back and recap this so we're under great understanding. So they're saying that she did not see a baby on the side of the road. She did not leave the Hoover area. She had no help, and she didn't stay at a hotel. So that still falls on deaf ears for me. There's still something that doesn't add up. Everybody let me ask you this question. Does this story add up for you so far that she didn't see a baby? I believe that. I've stated that like hours before she started coming back. So no baby. Okay. But here's the kicker. She never left Hoover. Do you believe that she never left Hoover, that she never worked with anybody, and she didn't stay at a hotel? If you believe those statements, put a 1 in the chat. If you still feel like that doesn't make sense and we still feel she might be she's not so forthcoming, she's not being truthful, put a 2 in the chat. I'm curious as to what your thoughts are here on this channel, like just gauging the audience. My mom boxed up all my stuff. I still have tons of stuff like green, see-through phone, matching iMac, tons of pictures, posters. Wow. Okay, so we've got okay, so I guess that we still have some questions. It still doesn't make sense to me either. So I figured I would check with you guys just to see if this still smells. This still doesn't smell like she's being 100%.
Community. The volunteers who were searching for her, to the Hoover Police Department and other agencies as well, as to her friends and family. We ask for your prayers for Carlee as she addresses her issues.
She's got issues. She's definitely got issues. Get this back up so you guys can see it. Sorry, I didn't realize I was still on the screen. Give me just a second.
And attempts to move forward, understanding that she made a mistake in this matter. Carlee, again.
And people have said that, you know, this is not a mistake. This was totally intentional. And I have to say one of two things. Something can be intentional and a mistake, in my opinion. And the reason why I say that is because I've done both. I have made a decision that I intentionally made, but wasn't thinking of the consequences to it. And because of that, I made a terrible, terrible mistake. So I do, just me personally, I myself believe that it is possible for her to intentionally do something and understand that it was truly a mistake to do it. So I know there's a lot of people that are like, oh, no, it can't be a mistake. She didn't mistake. This is intentional. This is too intentional. I get that argument too. And I would normally say that, but in a situation like this, I understand, you know, I don't agree with it. I don't understand how in the world she thought this was okay. But on the same vein, I cannot sit there and say that because she intentionally did this wasn't a mistake, because I know myself in my younger years, I intentionally did some things that were truly a mistake. I should not have done them. And it was, it wasn't, it was intentionally done, but it was, I don't know. I just, it's hard for me to express an example of what I'm talking about. I'm trying to come up with something. Hopefully by the end of this, I will, but I'm just saying I can kind of understand how she can intentionally do something and that intentional act be a mistake. So, and I do believe that she didn't expect this to blow up the way it did, but it did. And, you know, I believe things happen for a reason. And I hope that this is her jolt that she needs to get her life back on track. Because at the end of the day, that truly is what I want. I don't want this to ever happen again. And I want whatever brought her to this point to do this, I would like her to learn from it and grow from it and be a better person because of it, because that really does help everybody, not just her family, but all that's involved. Sometimes we need those embarrassing life lessons to give us the jolt that we need for us to take the blinders off and come to Jesus and realize that we ourselves need to make changes in our lives. And hopefully this is the jolt that she needs to move herself in a more productive way. And you know what? I talk all the time about the walk that I did and how I would not be here at this point in my life, in this moment, had I not walked that very trail, that very embarrassing but humbling trail. And hopefully she walks this with grace, and she comes out the other side and does amazing things in spite of it and because of it. That's really what I'd like to see from her. I'd like to see that empowerment to do better. And I hope that she starts giving back, because that really, for me, was what helped me move forward on a positive trail, was realizing it wasn't all about me. I was a taker. I was one of the people that we talk about on here a lot, those takers, the people that, introduce the drugs, the alcohol, the violence and stuff in their life. I lived that. I lived that from a child on up to my 30s. It was very, very rough. But there is light at the end of the tunnel. And, hopefully she gets that light at the end of the tunnel. Hopefully, no pun intended, right? And hopefully she starts doing some incredible things in her life so she never has to go through this again.
Ask for your forgiveness and prayers. We have a meeting scheduled with Mr. Anthony to further discuss this.
And this is the plea deal. Because if they were planning on meeting with Carlee and then she chickens out and then just gives a statement acknowledging that she lied about everything, and then the attorney's meeting with them the next day without his client, then they're concerned that she's going to go to jail. That's the reason why they will not let her go down to the police department, in my opinion. Now, my opinion means absolutely nothing, but I understand this a little better. They're negotiating a plea. They're negotiating a plea, and once they button that plea up, she will be turning herself in. I have a feeling. I don't believe that they're going to go and kick her door in and do this arrest. She's got an attorney. They're being cooperative. The attorney is meeting with the chief and his team. So yeah, they're in my opinion, this is a plea deal negotiation to kind of get to the nuts and bolts of what they're going to do, how they're going to handle this, and what everybody needs to do. Remember, her attorney is still an officer of the court. At the end of the day, he may be representing his client, but he still has a fiduciary duty, not only to his client, but to that court and to the law. So a lot of people need to realize that as well.
This case,
he will handle himself in a professional way.
We're currently in discussions with the Jefferson County District Attorney.
We're currently in discussions. I'm going to back that up just a little bit because I want you to hear the whole thing.
And prayers. We have a meeting scheduled with Mr. Anthony to further discuss this case. We're currently in discussions with the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office.
And that's another thing. So you're meeting with her attorney and in discussions with the Hoover County, State Attorney's Office, or, Alabama State Attorney's Office, whatever it is. You've got them with conversations as well. This is a plea deal. These are what I'm hearing. These are the cues and clues that I'm hearing when I'm listening to these press conferences.
Office in Bessemer about possible criminal charges.
Believe me, this is beyond the pale of possible criminal charges. There is definitely going to be something. We just don't know to what extent it will be.
Related to this case, and we will announce those charges when and if they are.
So he says when, and he emphasizes when, and then lightly says if they are coming. They are coming just by the way he's speaking. But this is where he starts getting clever in his wording.
Filed.
All right, with that, we'll take a few questions. As Officer Hale said, when I call on you, please state your name and your
Here's where we
affiliation. Yes,
start
sir.
getting into
Keith Mims, WAGG 610, 100.1 FM Summit Media. Chief, do we at this time, or does the Heuermann Police Department know the whereabouts of Carlee Russell during that 49 hours?
I want you to hear this chief's response. I really do, because I'm going to pause it afterwards and I'm going to explain what I heard.
Period that she was supposedly missing.
Now, as I said the other day, was talking facts and everything. If I said anything today, would just be speculation. Actual facts, we do not.
I don't believe that. I believe they have actual facts that they're holding close to their chest, because here we have a criminal investigation and we still have an integrity of the investigation to maintain. And he has not heard from Carlee where she says she's at. So he's going to say, we don't know. He's not going to give her any little bit of information that she can use to help prepare her statement to law enforcement. They want to know if she's going to continue to lie, and they're not going to give her any additional information related to it.
Aaron Llewellyn, WBCM 13. Can you tell us what her motivation was for doing this, if you can?
I wish I could tell you. I think only Carlee knows, and maybe her attorney now. But again, the statement that we received from him does not indicate any.
You notice how he always says the statement received from him does not indicate anyone or anything. He's saying that very strategically because, again, it's falling back on the statements of his client or of the, of Carlee. So he's not going to say, we know that she was here, 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 and here. He's going to say, well, she did not tell me that she did not tell us in this statement whether she was there. He's very clever in how he speaks the information. He is being utmost truthful, but he's doing it with tact and, in fairness, manipulation, because he's answering the question. He knows that what he's answering is the truth, but he's omitting all the other stuff. So listen, and it's very interesting watching police, and especially police chiefs, work, because they're seasoned and they know exactly. They're like, they know the cues, they know what to say and how to say it.
BRC, can you give us an idea of what charges you may be filing against her?
That would strictly be up to the district attorney's office.
And don't forget, look at his face. He's like, that's up to this. Like, I'm not getting into this. It's up to them. But what did we just hear in the sentences before that statement? We heard that we're in discussions with the state attorney and her attorney. What does that tell you? When you hear that we have law enforcement, the suspect's attorney, and the state attorney, it sure does sound like those things, 1 + 1 = 2, and those things equal discussions of a plea deal. Just saying. They're settlement negotiations, so to speak.
David Lamb, CBS 42.
Scheduled with the attorney, and that will take place some point tomorrow.
And there is no meeting with Carlee Russell or her family at this point?
Not scheduled, no, sir.
Are you chatting with Fox 6? What's next to close this investigation?
Well, again, we want to talk to Mr. Anthony tomorrow and see if he has any more to discuss about.
Any more to discuss? It seems to me like in his statement and how he's saying this, that if Attorney Anthony brings more to the table, they will discuss. Otherwise, there's no more to discuss. So we need to do what we need to do. That's what I'm hearing from this man. That's what I'm hearing. Those are the cues. Him talking about, we'd like to hear more from him. And it depends on whether he has any additional information to provide. Those are words that I pay attention to.
About the case. We'll certainly be asking if we'll get an opportunity to, again, interview Carlee.
There, you notice how he keeps coming back to interview Carlee. They want Carlee in that police station. Do you guys notice that? And look how calm and his demeanor here is when he's talking about it. He's talking about it nonchalant, right? Like, we just need to talk to her. We just want to know, what's going on. How do I unblock somebody? I think I did it by accident. Well, you can't block because you don't have, JJ, you don't have a wrench, so you can't block anybody off this channel. And the best place for you to go for, shoot, I don't even know what your block list, what it would, I don't know. Oh, it's in your account under settings. They do have people. I'll show you. Well, I can't show you on my account. I don't want people in it, but you can go into your YouTube page. I'll have to talk about it after this. I don't want to get too sidetracked.
We've wanted to since she returned.
We've wanted to since she returned. So they've still trying to get and speak to Carlee, and her attorney's keeping her around at the police station. So that's what's telling me that there's most likely charges coming.
Chief Stephen Quinn, ABC 3340.
Yes.
Your reaction now, knowing that Carlee has admitted that this was made up.
Well, I'm glad that we got this. You know, we certainly laid the facts out to you.
So he's saying, well, we're glad that we laid out enough facts that she came to her senses and decided to quit lying. That's what he's saying.
Guys, and to the national media that had a lot of interest in this particular case. The sad thing is that. Again, there were so many people that were involved, took this thing very, very seriously.
Now, when I hear that, this is the point when I know that she's going to jail, because he just said there were so many other agencies that took an interest in this. And let's listen to what he says.
Of interest in this particular case. The sad thing is that, again, there were so many people that were involved.
That means so many people. They're talking about the U.S. They're talking about not the Secret Service. They're talking about the FBI, U.S. Marshals, and what was the other agency that they were using? I don't know why it's on the tip of my tongue, but I can't. So we had the U.S. Marshals, we had the FBI, and there was a third federal government agency. Oh, Homeland Security, I think is what it was. I think it was Homeland Security or something like that. I can't remember, but there was 3 federal agencies involved. And he's basically saying, you know, there were so many people that took this seriously. So he's basically saying to me, what I'm hearing is this is kind of out of my control because we have so many other agencies involved that, you know, and they took this so seriously, i.e. provided, you know, financial resources and other things to find her, that it's out of my control. That's what I'm hearing. You guys are hearing something different, but when I'm listening to this, that is what I'm hearing this man say.
Took this thing very, very seriously. And again, we wanted the focus to be bringing her home. She got home. We're very excited about that. You know, just, you know, it is what it is.
It is what it is. She's home. That was the number one thing. We're glad she's healthy. But there's consequences. That's what I'm hearing. Not what you're hearing, but that's what I'm hearing. These are the cues. And I read through the bull crap because we hear these things and hear these press conferences over and over again. And then we see the actions after the press conference. And it really helps define what's being said. Now, we've been listening to this stuff for years. So that's why that's why when I listen to this stuff, I'm getting a whole much different stuff out of it than maybe other people are, because I've listened to so many of these press conferences and see the actions thereafter that really define them. And this is what he's saying without saying it.
The facts, I think, last Wednesday pretty much showed that we knew that it was a hoax.
So they've known this whole time it's a hoax since last Wednesday, so they say. I got to say that on July 15th is when I realized it was a hoax for sure.
Please.
Lisa Crane with WDTM 13. Do you know the expense you went to during this search? And if you don't have a dollar.
I'm going to replay this, but listen to his response. And this, again, gives you another cue as to what he's really saying.
It was a hoax. Please.
Lisa Crane with WDTM 13. Do you know the expense you went to during this search? And if you don't have a dollar figure for us, just how big it was for you guys?
Well, it was all hands on deck, and we don't have a dollar figure yet, but we're certainly working towards getting one, and not only ours, but there'll be other agencies that had a lot of support that they gave us and had monetary expenses themselves.
So what's that telling me? That tells me restitution. What I'm hearing is they're calculating the figure for restitution for what was expended. He's looking at his agency Everybody else is looking for the cost in their agency. I'm hearing financial, I'm hearing restitution. They're not going to get an order of restitution to pay this money back without a criminal case. So they need to identify whether they want this person to pay back these expenses, which I believe the federal government is going to want. Federal government does not like playing these types of games. They will not play them. And I think because they were involved, there's whereas if this was a small search that just the local law enforcement did, they may have, slapped her on the hand, sent her home to her mommy and daddy and called it a day. But this is much bigger than that. This has grown so far out of control with her lies that all these agencies thought she was abducted and were acting as such, bearing no expense. Like they didn't care. They were writing blank checks to people to find this woman, to bring her home and to bring her home safe. And it was all a lie. Believe me. Federal government, even if this guy wanted to get her off, even if their state attorney wanted to say we don't want to charge her, we feel bad for her, the federal government is going to say, well, you need to pay us our money. Right? They don't care. They're going to be like, well, if you don't want to charge her for it, you're definitely paying us. And what city and county loves one citizen that lied to them this much to go ahead and pay their tab, right? I don't see it. I just don't see it.
Right here. Jonathan, with JLR investigates, are the parents under any investigation?
As I said the other day, we were going to try to determine exactly those 49 hours. So right now, and anything's on the table.
Yes, they are also being investigated. Now, will that what I heard there is, yes, they're investigated. They're being investigated because they don't know what happened to Carlee. They don't know where she was, and they don't know what the purpose of this, so they say. So everybody, is going to be, they're going to make sure that their parents weren't complicit. I don't believe the parents were complicit in this, but that wasn't his question. His question is, are they under investigation? And yes, I believe that when she returned home, her parents immediately went under investigation. They may have been cleared of any wrongdoing at this juncture, but they absolutely would be under investigation in a situation like this.
We still don't know what happened in those 49 hours, where she was. Did she have any help? We have no idea. I read the statement from Mr. Anthony. That's all we know.
Right. Keith Mims, WAGG 610 Summit Media. Chief, let me ask you this. What do you think prompted or provoked Carlee to do this kind of thing? And are there any kind of mental issues that the police department or the public should be concerned about, or just what?
Not that I'm aware of. I mean, it's, this is a very elaborate deal. I mean, when you talk about calling.
Now, this is where, if you didn't know whether she's going to jail or going to have an arrest warrant out for her, this is where you learn that, yes, she is. I want you to listen to what this chief says.
Or the public should be concerned about, or just what?
Not that I'm aware of. I mean, it's, this is a very elaborate deal. You talk about calling a 911 and being up on the interstate. Again, it would all be conjecture. So really, I don't know. I was hoping that we'd have an opportunity to interview and we'd be able to ask her those questions.
Seasoned law enforcement officer, right? We need to speak to her. Bring her in. Yeah, we had these questions. Those are great questions, but we don't know. We haven't heard from Carlee. We need her to come in and talk to us and provide us her statement. I'd love to answer that for you, but, we haven't talked to her yet. But as soon as she comes in and we have a conversation with her, we'll let you know. We just want to have a conversation. We just want to speak with her, nothing big. We just need her to come on down just so we can have a conversation with her. Okay. You wonder why her attorney's not phoning her up, not having her go to that police station. As soon as she walks in there, dude, I'm telling you, she's getting arrested.
Were any others involved in putting this story together for her?
Mr. Anthony, in his statement, says there was not.
He didn't say no. He didn't say no, there's other people. He said in Attorney Anthony's statement, there was not. He's a clever, seasoned police chief. I hear something totally different than everybody else. Maybe you guys are hearing the same clues and cues that I'm hearing in this conversation, but I like breaking it down because I like you guys knowing how I think and how how information comes into my brain. And I'm hearing a lot. I'm hearing a lot. There's like, we'd love to hear. Come on down, Carlee. We just want to talk to you. Come on down. We just want to talk to you.
Right here.
Liviana Calmes, WBRC, Fox 6 News. You said that you had a meeting scheduled and it kind of switched into a statement. Did they give any type of reason that switched?
No, they did not.
Right here.
I'll tell you why. They didn't want the client going to jail. That's the reason. They didn't want her meeting with the team. They knew that she was going to jail, right? So far, they don't have her statement. You know, as soon as she starts this statement and she lies about one nugget, and then even at this point, now she's admitted to lying to them. She's going to jail. Like, she's going to be arrested. I would say in the next 24 hours. I mean, this is blatant. Now she's finally admitted that she lied. They need to start taking action. Now, because she has an attorney, you know, when you have an attorney in a situation like this, let's be honest, you get kind of special privilege, right? And that's for anybody. It has nothing to do with race, ethnicity, or anything else for all the people in the back that want to try to raise something there that's not. It is provided. But when you have an attorney, it complicates situations because they protect you as much as they can. And you know, investigators know that and are required to respect that whether they like it or not. So they have this attorney, and while he is buying her time, they're going to be in there negotiating, you know, arrest time, bond amounts, plea deals, negotiation, settlement talk, restitution. This is not a type of meeting that's like, hey, Joe attorney, how are you doing? John Chief, what's going on? Oh, nothing. I got this client. Oh, yeah. Well, we just want to talk to her. Do you mind producing her? Well, no, that's not the conversation they're having. The conversation that they're having is a professional conversation. Okay. Thank you. I want to start out just by thanking you, attorney Joe, Joe attorney, for coming in here. Now that we have your statement and your client statement, again, just want to thank you for coming forward and stopping this additional bleeding of financial resources investigating these wild accusations. So you're obviously here for a reason, Joe attorney, and I have questions for your client. So, you know, she has admitted to breaking the law. Here is the crimes that we have attached to her. Do you have any defenses of these? So they're going to be talking about that. I don't know if he's going to raise any defenses or anything like that, but they will definitely be discussing this case and definitely be discussing, you know, possible charges, bail amount, and again, plea deals. This is not a meeting where they're just deciding to swap words and have a lunch. This is truly a very serious matter. And this attorney is going in there to help mitigate his client's crimes and find a reasonable solution that everybody can deal with. That's the purpose of this appointment today with his attorney. And what we will most likely see is they're either going to agree to a plea deal and she will turn herself in for booking and processing, or they're not going to come to an agreement. And law enforcement is then going to have to decide whether to execute arrest warrants or not. And then that will take 24 to 48 hours to get done. And then she will be arrested anyways. So I don't believe that she's getting out of this at all. I think that right now they're just trying to mitigate her exposure to the crimes and her punishment. And I think that they are being very proactive, her and her attorney, related to this. But yes, I do think that this was a terrible mistake that she made. She did not think this whole thing through, and she definitely did not equate social media pushing her story out the way we did. So, you know, and I have to believe things happen for a reason. Like I said, I believe things happen for a reason, and I believe this might be the nudge she needs to help fix her life and get back on the right path. And sometimes those lessons are very, very public. And this is the case for her.
Aaron Llewellyn, WD Team 13. Was not in custody right now.
That is correct. That is correct.
Last question with David.
David Lamb, once again. So first of all, when did you actually see this letter? And second of all, do these admissions and the content of the letter alter the investigation at all?
No, not at all. We'll continue to investigate. We're still trying to determine where she was during those 49 hours. But I am glad that we received this. It at least puts some of the social media super sleuths hopefully at rest for a little bit.
There was no alien abduction. There was no alien abduction, okay, guys? I just want to let you know there was no adult midget taking her hostage. The social media super sleuths out there. I don't know. But if he was, you didn't say that I said that. I went over the deep end and started calling people conspiracy theorists. I do believe in the work that we do. We were able to uncover a lot very quickly. In this case, we were able to come public with it in this case and everything like that. So, kudos to all that was involved. Mainstream media, like I said, it's so sad that all of our resources when there wasn't all of our resources, but a lot of our resources were expended on Carlee, but I have to say that this is the case. As much of a hoax as it was, let's put the silver lining on this. And, I always like to make sure that nothing that is ever done is done in vain. I believe that there truly is a purpose for everything that happens, right? And maybe this is something that we as mainstream media and social media need to look at and explore, because this was the one case that I really think that we all came together and got it right on. When this case broke, we all, social media, along with mainstream media, pushed this entire case out so fast and so quickly that we were able to get so many people from this country and around the world to know who Carlee Russell was and to look for this abducted woman. I don't want to lose that momentum, because this was the case where we all came together for a purpose, for a cause, to do good. And it was amazing. It was amazing. It's sad that it was for a hoax, but I think it at least took the blinders off people to show them how good this could be if utilized properly. How wonderful we could all work for the sake of a victim. That we got right. That is the silver lining in this case, in my opinion. Everything else that has transpired after that is typical of social media and mainstream media, especially in light of being hoaxed and lied to and deceived. We don't take kindly to that. But in the reality of it, this was the one case where we showed, I feel like we showed ourselves and we showed the world how wonderful, if we do this right, how good it can be. And that I'm really happy and blessed that we were a part of that. For ourselves, and nobody can take that away. So everybody that participated, and you guys going into mainstream media and social media and making sure they heard her voice, they heard her name, that she was the topic of conversation, that's all that you as the audience and the public did. Congratulations. And the next time this happens, that's the kind of effort we need. When we have these missing people, these abducted people, these people in grave situations, that's what they need. They need all of us pulling together, all of us getting out there, all of us working together to bring them home. This could have been a totally different story. I'm so happy I can, clown her and call, say that she, this was a hoax. I'm, to be honest with you, I'm not happy like that's what I like to do. Happy that I get to do it, because there's so many cases. We're dealing with graves. We're dealing with people not being found. We're dealing with, we don't know what happened, like Paola Miranda Rosa. We don't know what happened to her. She just up and disappeared. And they're trying to say a gator got her with no evidence. Even, I'm sorry, but I've seen gator attacks before, and I'm sorry, there's evidence of it. We had none of that. We had none of that with Paula Miranda. And we were out there for days, several tours out there. I had blisters on the bottoms of my feet the size of freaking quarters. I was in pain and still kept walking and walking and searching and searching and searching. And we found nothing, absolutely nothing. We found footprints. And JJ, no, I don't believe she was attacked by a gator, because her phone, there was a towel that was laid across like it was trying to dry in the back seat over a vacuum cleaner. Her shoes were there. Her wallet was there. Her keys were there. Everything was at the car. It almost implied that she dried off. She dried off. So I'm thinking this could very well have been one of those ST type of situations out there, and everybody's looking for gator attack, but there's no evidence. I mean, even the water was tested for DNA, and there was nothing came back. So it's, a lot of our stuff is, it doesn't matter if they're watching, because they're going to take everything I say out of context anyways. So it really doesn't matter. I mean, if people really want the truth, just come over here to the Bullhorn Betty channel. You want the truth, you get the truth over here, not these lies and manipulations. And I definitely don't manipulate my audience. But there's so many cases that we don't get answers for. This one we did. That's what I'm happy about. Not the fact that it was a hoax. The fact that we have one that came home. But this one was much different. The reason why I say clowning is because she lied. It wasn't like she came home. It's not like a J.J. Rollins, right? Where he's a 2-year-old boy that got lost from his home, and we're all out there, and he came home. I didn't clown about that. I was happy. I cried. I cried because I wasn't expecting him to come home. I was so terrified he wasn't going to be found. Hearing that he was found, I can't express the emotional gratitude that came with a story like that, especially with such a young kid. Even talking about it now, my eyes are watering up, because I go back to that moment of just pure elation. Like, I have never been elated like I was the day that I heard that little boy was found. I thought he was, because there was so much out there, guys. I mean, sorry for choking up on it, but there was so much out there. It was a rough terrain. There were ponds. There were, like, you looked at the area. You look at the area and you're like, oh my God, your heart sinks. You go to the absolute worst case scenario, because you're looking at what this kid would have had to walk through, and you're thinking, there ain't no way. Thank God he was on a different side than I was. The side he was on wasn't as dangerous. There were still a lot of elements, snakes, wildlife, mosquitoes, ants, there was still a lot of stuff, but there wasn't like, there were some drops that just, it terrifies you. It terrifies you. And thinking this little boy could have fallen, God knows what help, I mean, we heard about, I can't, and I apologize because we've covered so many cases, Passion Jeffrey, her son, in the mouth, your mind goes to places like that when you're out there. I knew as soon as I saw the terrain where I went out there and searched for like 2 or 3 hours. And the whole time I was searching, I said, if he's on this side, he's not coming back. And I'm glad he was on the other side. I really am. And I'm glad the worst thing that hurt him was a few scratches and bug bites. Like, talk about a blessing on top of a blessing. That was a blessing on steroids. And I will never forget that experience. And that's what I'm talking about, because we were there for that. And this lady is, hoax, but it could have been so much worse. So I'm happy that I'm able to clown her. I'm happy she's able to be clowned, because again, it could have been so much worse. So take that for what you will. I stand behind it. I stand on it. It is what it is. So getting to Rex Heuermann, I know we're getting to the top of our 2 hours. I just wanted to let you know that invasion search of Rex Heuermann's home could end as early as Tuesday, so they may be wrapping up today on the search of his house. We know that he has traveled all over this country, which terrifies all of us. But we have some major identifying states. And so if you live in these states, start looking around for missing persons. So we know that Nevada and Las Vegas primarily is a hot spot for Rex Heuermann. We know that Atlantic City has some, let me just pull this up so we can talk about it while we're going through it. Here we go. So we definitely know that he's associated with New York. He's near Gilgo. We are starting to hear that there are earlier cases from 2006 related to Atlantic City. Hold on a second. Let me see if I can find them. Okay, here it is. So we know that there is potential of him killing. There's several victims in Atlantic City as well. So Egg Harbor Township in Atlantic City, eastbound strangler cold case. So in 2006, in a drainage ditch behind the now demolished Golden Key Motel, the bodies of 4 women, Molly Diltz, Kim Raffo, Barbara Bridor, and Tracy Roberts, were found close together in a grassy area along Black Horse Pike. Sounds eerily familiar to the description when they started finding women on Gilgo Beach. So this does sound like the MO of Rex Heuermann. A former Egg Harbor Township police captain who worked on the cold case told CBS 48 Hours the 4 women were found close to each other in a ditch in the same manner, all facing east, all with no shoes, no purse, no cell phones, no personal belongings. He suspected one killer was involved with all 4 of those victims. The women were believed to be workers, escort-type workers. Tabloids started referring to the case as the Eastbound Strangler. So we know that, strangling might be his MO, right? I find this interesting. As you guys are looking into cases, find out if there's clumping of these bodies together. Maybe this is another calling card of Rex Heuermann. So if you're having these, and maybe they're like, this one would be the Eastbound Strangler, not the Long Island serial killer, right? So he could be both. So there might be a case going on in your state, in South Carolina, in Nevada, in New Jersey, in New York, or any of the other 50 states that have several bodies together and they feel there's a serial killer lurking. What is so profound to me is we have an estimated a little under 13,000 serial killers that roam the United States of America. One person can do enormous damage. Look at Rex Heuermann. We're talking about double-digit victims. Victims in the double digits. And you've got 13,000 of those roaming free. I don't know if all of them are roaming free. We know we have some of them behind bars. But I know we don't have 13,000. Maybe we do. I don't know. That scares me. That scares me. So again, these are the beautiful women that they believe may be associated with Rex Heuermann over in Atlantic City, but it does sound very eerily similar. Yes, Allie, you got to look it up. I did it. I can't remember which live I did it on. It about made me sick when I read that. It was like 12,290, not quite 13,000, but it definitely above 12,000. And those are the ones we know. Those are the ones we know. So I believe if we know that there's 12,000 of them, that there's probably closer to 20,000 of them, because there's still many of them that are going unnoticed, right? That's what I believe. I believe. But this does not surprise me. This case right here does not surprise me that it's spilling over into other states, because at the end of the day, we know that this guy was prolific, and there's going to be more. So I think right now the best identity is, if you guys are sleuthing yourself at home, be looking for women that are in grassy areas, and that are to kind of clump together in close proximity together. Because it seems to me that Rex finds a location that he feels comfortable with, and he probably scopes it out and monitors it and knows exactly when he should be there and when he shouldn't. So he's able to have that comfortability to move around without bringing a lot of attention to himself. So he's going to find desolate areas that have literally no activity at night. And that's going to be the place that he would like to dump or, lure or whatever. So look for those. It doesn't matter what state. He traveled the country. He had the financial resources to travel the country. And we don't know how he traveled. Was it by plane? Was it by car? Was it by bus? Was it by train or boat? I mean, we don't know. There could be, what if he was on a freaking, like celebration cruise or something like that, and a person didn't come back on there, and it happens to be a woman, and they just naturally thought she got drunk and went overboard? What if he did something to, this is what I'm talking about. We don't know. I want to know where he was, but I know there's a lot more victims. I truly, truly, truly believe that. Lots more missing ladies of the night. Yeah. So if you guys are sleuthing, it seems like that is at least what he was doing up until 2011. This seemed like his MO. So now when he started seeing the major, because you got to remember, when they started finding these bodies on Gilgo Beach, he was still living at his home, just, not too far away. So he was keeping a close eye on all this. So he probably changed his behavior after this incident where they started digging up these bodies. He realized it was a little too close. And he probably definitely thought, when they started digging up bodies on Gilgo Beach and how close proximity it was to his house, he probably freaked out a little bit and said, oh, this is a little too close. I cannot do this again. And he probably toyed with them a little bit. And that's probably where the 2011 bodies came from. But then after that, it just went dormant. So he was putting them somewhere. I don't believe he stopped. I don't believe he stopped at all. So he was dropping them somewhere. And he was probably, if his wife wasn't going on vacation, then he was going on business trips and feeding his habit. So if he made multiple trips out to Las Vegas, bet your bottom dollar there are a lot of victims out in Las Vegas. I found out from one of his neighbors that he was just in South Carolina a few weeks before his arrest. I believe that there is somebody missing in South Carolina. Whether their family knows about it or not, somebody is missing in South Carolina. We know Rex's wife has had enough and said, I'm done. We're divorcing. And so she's already starting the process of the divorce. We also have, this is just to let you know that the investigation has now spilled over, just like I said, into Nevada and into South Carolina. There were other states he visited. I don't believe he was just in South Carolina, just in Vegas, just in Atlantic City, New Jersey and New York. I don't believe there's only 4 states that he's involved in. I don't believe that. Okay. I believe that there are many states that he went and visited. Oh, Miss Lee, mom of 3. God bless you, love bug. Give those cutie pies a big old kiss from Bullhorn Betty. Hi, I know you're watching. I know your kids are lurking behind your back. I know it. Better be good for your mama. Don't make Bullhorn come. Oh Lord. So we know it's going into South Carolina, and it is an uncomfortable feeling. But guys, if you have anybody, and I'm telling this to my entire audience, if you know of anybody in this trade, in this escort and S trade, if they're missing or you have not heard from them in a long time, even if it's not associated with Rex, something may have happened to them. Reach out to your family, reach out to your friends. Don't, I'm not saying judge them or make them feel worse than they already feel, but make sure that they're okay. Make sure that they're okay. And you know what? It never hurts, even if as much as you disagree with that person, letting them know you love them, because you never know when that's the last time to tell that person and why you don't, even though you don't agree with their lifestyle or what they're doing with their life, that doesn't matter. It matters that they're struggling, and everybody, even in their struggles, deserve to be loved and deserve to know that they're loved by somebody. So I hope that if you have family that are in the trade and you haven't heard from them in a while, start finding a way to reach out to them, to find out what happened to them, just to see if, maybe, you never know. I've always believed, when I was getting sober and everything like that, I think it was so amazing, even with my struggles, people not judging and people not being mean. It's like, you don't agree with something. Do you think you're getting, when you don't agree with somebody's opinion or something, do you think bringing a lynch mob to them is going to help them change their mind? Because this is where I see a lot of problems. Like, when we found people that were struggling with addictions or alcoholism or something like that, we always tried to show them a new way. We never, like, how dare you not want to save your life? Can you not see that you're dying here? You never did that. Why? Because it runs people off and they're like, I don't want to be like them. You want to show people that getting sober is fun and you can still have a life, and you want them to be, and like even this whole racism conversation that people have. I heard on this one thing, they're like, oh yeah, they're coordinating the troops and going to attack them. And it's like, so you think that if somebody truly is racist, that getting a whole bunch of people to go and attack them is going to make them somehow not be racist anymore? Usually, I was taught that you treat people with kindness. You show them the error of their way with love. Now, let's use the racist card for example in this example, where you're calling and condemning somebody. Now you believe this person is a racist. So now you got the troops to come over there and attack this person for racism. Attack them, lynch them, cancel them. Do you think that changed their racism? Do you think that helped with their racism? Or do you think that by your actions, you just confirmed that that's the reason why that person is the way they are? Because look at how they're acting, right? I've always been saying approach with love, right? So you have this thing. Why don't you kill them with kindness and show them that they're wrong on all levels instead of proving their point, right? Because that's what they're thinking in their sick mind. Look how they're acting. Now you see why I act this way. You see? But had you approached them differently and said, we're not bad people, blah, blah, blah. This is, I don't get it. But you're never going to fix racism because there's truly evil people out there. And racism comes in every single ethnicity. Period. It does. And I'm just very thankful that there are people truly going out on social media that have huge platforms and denouncing this very behavior. And they are in waves. You're not seeing it here on YouTube, but you want to see it, go on TikTok. There are waves of people standing up and speaking out about it. We've had enough. We've had enough. What families have I protested that are innocent? I'm curious. I'm curious because I protested 3 homes. Brian Laundrie, everything we found out in the Brian Laundrie case, their parents are suing them over. Leilani, I don't know if you noticed, but Leilani is in jail for murdering her 20-month-old son with malice, beating him. Doesn't sound like a victim to me, right? And Don Wells had 7 kids, had 8 kids. Every single one of the children have been taken from them over the last 40 years, and one is missing and presumed dead. So again, protesting is one of the most American things in this country. And if you don't mind, and you know what, during all the protests of the injustice in this country, I remember seeing BLM and other protesters going into residential properties, tearing fences down to go into residential property. Why aren't you over there saying the same thing? Because those families were innocent. They had nothing to do with that whole movement, and they were being violated. So again, I'm a little confused about your statement. Is this a hypocrisy statement, or is this a serious statement? Because to me, you, my friend, are an idiot and a hypocrite. And I have no desire to continue conversations. I don't go to your channel. You come here, right? You come here. I want you to understand how sick in the head that to me is. Every day you come here and complain. You are a Debbie Downer every single day. And you think your crusade is helping? What have you done? You haven't hurt me. You don't upset me. You're the one sitting over there fuming right now, angry. Like, that is on you, baby. That is up here for you. When are you going to go get some help for yourself, huh? This is all up here for you because you think it must be true. That's your delusion, not mine. Okay? It's your delusion, not mine. I do everything above board and lawfully in this country. I do not break the law. I research the laws when I go in here. If you don't like that, go change our Bill of Rights and go change the Constitution. Okay? Otherwise, sit down and shut the F up. Because I'm sick of you being here every day bitching. Go do something about it, baby. Get off your fucking ass and go make some changes. How about that? Quit bitching and sitting at home. Do you think when I see an injustice, I sit in my chair and go attack people? No. I go out there and work and affect change. So get off your lazy ass and quit bitching about everybody and go do something about it. Otherwise, sit down, shut up, or leave my freaking channel. Nobody gives a damn. I won't cry for you not coming back here. I won't cry for me not having to address one of your shitty ass comments yet again. I won't do it. I think you're a fucking idiot if you really want my honest and humble opinion. I think you got entirely too much emotional problems to be on true crime. If you can't handle it, get out. But don't ever think you have a right to go and tell somebody what to do or freaking lynch them because you don't like them. Give me a freaking break. And if you really have these strong opinions, show your face. I come up here and hold my own showing this. I don't hide behind anything. I don't need to be anonymous. I don't need to play those stupid, childish games. I don't need law enforcement telling me what to do or what to think. I go out and investigate these cases, and I could give two damns whether you listen or believe shit I have to say. Because I'm not here for you, wine, crime, and mayhem, which I'm pretty sure the last part is more of your personality than any of the two parts. So why don't you go sit down? And here's a bigger picture. I'm not going to block you, and I'm not going to remove this comment. But next time you want to come in here, don't come in here with your emotional bullshit. Come in here with facts. Otherwise, sit down, shut up, and don't chat. Because nobody in here is really listening to your shit anyways. Have a good day, and God bless you. Now, idiots, be gone. Don't come in here. I'll give you guys something to clip. Go make your $2, baby. Go make your $2. And you know what? Maybe I am a little bit of a tragedy pimp, right? Maybe I am a little bit of a tragedy pimp. Because I pimp you bitches. Right? You guys can't keep my name out of your mouth. I'm the pimp and you're my tricks. How do you like that? Idiots. All right. Well, now that we know I'm still trying to decide, I don't go over to these people. Do these people not realize how mentally immature and ignorant they are? Do they not see it? Are they that unaware of their own behavior that they can't see that? And next time that mayhem person comes in here, trigger much? No, it seems like I triggered you, bitch. I bet you would never show me your face. You want to come in here and drag people you know nothing about. You don't even follow these cases with good clarity. You have no education. You have no college education. You are an idiot that is emotional, that carries emotional baggage. I guarantee you, just by your conversation here, you're on medication for shit up here currently. And I promise you that you're not going to your therapy like you should. I can tell that all by the way you type. So if you feel that I have been defamed by you, or I defamed you in any way, you can sue me for that, but you're going to have to prove that it's a lie. And I can promise you it most likely is not. That felt better. Felt like I got a little off my chest. You know what I'm saying? Felt like I got a little bit off my chest from these animals that come here. And you're always alone too. Like you're alone. You're alone. That must be really, really sad. Alone. So how do you feel about Rex's wife? Like everybody knows that is it Carlee Russell? I don't know why I always want to call her Kelly, but I think it's Carlee Russell. I've had some chats with her, and she seems really, really, really nice. And I feel so bad for her. You know, she's the daughter of BTK, and that's that Dennis Rader, bound, torture, kill. And she said they knew nothing, that he lived, but I'm curious if, like hindsight's 2020, if they picked up some clues or, some weird red flag type of stuff, during the whole situation. I keep wondering about that. If now that they look back on it, they said oh, you know what, that was a clue, or oh, TD, you didn't miss much, just me chewing somebody out. Well, we're almost to the end of the show, but we're just going to call that be a mayhem, right? Mayhem, because that's all they think they are. They think they're mayhem. We'll call them Little Mayhem, right? Little Mayhem, because they probably ain't got shit, right? Little M, Little D. Maybe you need some. Maybe you need some D. Oh, God forgive me. God forgive me. I'm going to need prayers today, y'all. I'm going to need prayers. I'm going to need prayers. Guys need to pray for me. Pray for me. We try to keep it real over here, right? We try to keep it real. But we have mental illness, and mental illness is displayed so well from the hate channels every single day. You know what? I would be rich. I would literally be rich. I may stop covering true crime altogether and just cover the dumpsters and the hypocrisy on YouTube. Maybe I'll start another channel totally different against this, right? Maybe I'll do that. And just, we'll review the reviewers, because we know that BT has made some racist comments on her friend's page. I've got them clipped. But yet she wants to get the gang together when people are racist. Well, you got to quit being racist yourself before you start telling everybody else how not to be racist. Just saying. Just saying, if you want to put it out there like that, little girl. Lillian Payne. And many of you know that she was brought up during the course of the investigation I've done into Rex Heuermann. And there is a website. I don't know if she is his victim, but she does seem like it would be a probable type of thing, except in this case, a knife. It seems like she was stabbed, where we're hearing other people were strangled. But then we have this weird, oh Lord, where the hell did it go? I have it on something else. Hold on a second here. I thought I had it up. I must have. But then we had this weird, statement about this hammer that he used for building and how it was persuasive. And it gave you this like eerie, like he's used that knife on a woman, or not the knife, but the hammer on a woman. So it makes you wonder, does he have multiple ways that he does this stuff? Like he's got guns, some people are strangled. This lady was stabbed. Like, is there like really like the way he does it, or does he try different things each time and see which one he likes better? I mean, I don't know how it works, but it seems like there's different types of forms, methods of how he unalived these people, but I don't know. Betty's name popped up once on that awful channel, and I tried, and it tried to use me as an example. I got defensive, so I apologize. So I understand how Betty feels. Oh, absolutely. I'm just tired of it. I'm tired of it. I'm fighting back. 2 years of this nonsense. I'm fighting back, and they're acting like they've done nothing wrong. That this is just, I'm just being mean. That I'm just, going after a single mother. No, I'm not. This is a woman that has violently attacked me on every possible level you can possibly imagine. That's why we're in this situation. No other reason. That. And that's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say. I'm tired of it, and I will be fighting back. You guys knew this year, at the very beginning of this year, I told you I had had enough, and we are going to start fighting back. And that's exactly what I promised you that we were going to do. And that's exactly what I have been doing. And it's not going to stop here. I am done with this nonsense on YouTube. Nobody deserves this. The people that want to get into the drama, they're fair game. If you want to fight, find somebody that wants to fight back with you. I don't. I want to be left the F alone and run my channel, which I'm allowed to do. I live in the United States of America. Or has people forgotten this is not a dictatorship or a communist state? Now, there are other places that are. Now, if you're more than welcome to go over there, by all means, go. But for the rest of us, we like to live under the laws of the United States. And that's exactly what I do. That's exactly what I do. Oh, yeah. And there's that, too. And they try to lie about it. I'm done. I'm done. You know what? You guys can lie for so much. We're gonna put the proof in the pudding. I'm done. I'm done. This is not going away. I just want to make that very clear to the people out here. This is not going away. It's not going to go away until the judge rules on it. Period. All right, guys. Well, we're at the top of the 2 hours. That was interesting. We're going to say, for the people that hate, just stay off the channel. You have no business being here. You have no business disrupting another creator's channel. Stay off. You got enough racist people on your side that should keep you guys busy for the next year and a half. Go attack your own people that do wrong. Quit coming over here and disrupting me. Oh, I forgot. It's the selective outrage. They're your people, so you're going to turn the other cheek and look the other way. Sweep it under the rug. Okay, got it. When you just think you can't get any stupider or lower, you guys drop to the next level of stupid. And that goes for all of you. All those haters in the back room, right? All those haters. Are they supporters? Why are they support a channel if they do not agree with you? Well, it's not that she supports it. What it is that somebody did a gift membership, and you can't control who the gift membership is. So that lady never purchased that membership. That was a donation from one of the people here. So And I know I have the people that love this channel give me the authority to I could have blocked her. That emblem means absolutely nothing in my world. You can be the best supporter. You can buy me, you can buy me a new car and you come after me. I'm done. You know, I can't do the Debbie Downer stuff. I have to have positivity in my life. I've got to have, you know, people that just want to go. I don't have time for the drama. I don't have time for the negativity because my brain does not process negativity well. It doesn't. So I have to stay away from it. Many of you, your bodies and your brains don't process negativity well, but you guys are all around negative situations. You need to remove yourself from them. So at the end of the day, we'll keep going. I just want to tell you, I love you all. You guys are my sweeties, my babies. And I just love you guys. I feel like I've been watching entirely too much Christine Randall. I'm going to start being, hi, my babies, you know? Christine, I'm sorry. You're starting to rub off on me. What can I say? Right? That's not a bad thing though, right? So anyways, I love you guys. Be safe out there on the streets of YouTube. Enjoy yourself. We still have a lot of information coming up. Don't forget, I'm on TikTok, and we have been rocking it out there on TikTok, giving little spurts of information. And I've been enjoying being back on TikTok. I have to be honest with you. So if you like spurts of information all day long, you need to be a member on my TikTok, right? You need to be a member on my TikTok. Then you'll get all Bullhorn Betty. You'll get Bullhorn Betty all day, every day, right? I can't stay off TikTok. All right, guys. I love you. Peace out. Go make it a great day. And guess what? A little secret. Tomorrow's hump day. We get to start sliding into that week, right? I want to say TGI. What is it? No, TGIAHD. Thank God it's almost hump day. I need to stop. I have way too much fun. All right, guys, go make it a great day and we'll chat soon. God bless.
As you wake up in the morning, you want to find the latest, greatest information about criminal cases and have an intuitive conversation about the suspects associated with these cases. Head over to the Bullhorn Betty channel on YouTube. Get breaking news right here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club. Enjoy your stay and enjoy your day.